Hello crafters and welcome. Tina here. Today we're going to be finishing off our 10 cards 1 kit. We're going to be doing part 2 and we're using the My Monthly Hero, the March 2017 kit. I love this kit. It has a lot of fun images and tons of dice and I just love it. I'm going to take the little bunny that I think is my favorite because I used him the most, and he's holding a little carrot from the stamp set, and then I'm also taking the little squirrel. I haven't used him yet, so we're going to use him on this card. This stamp set came with, or actually the kit came with some intense black ink, which is perfect for using your alcohol markers. So that's the ink that I'm using. And I don't want to bore you with my coloring skills because they're not the greatest. I could definitely use some improvement on this. But I finished coloring them in, and now I'm taking the coordinating dies and I'm gonna place them on the images here, and then I'm gonna stamp my sentiment. I'm using the Friends Forever that came in the stamp set, and then I'm grabbing one of my stitch circle dies and I'm gonna use that to cut out my sentiment. I'm gonna run that through the Big Shot here. Lovely. Carefully remove my little washi tape. Now you're gonna have to excuse me. Today is a very windy day, and if you hear wind in the background, I am so sorry. I have a little crack in my window. My husband needs to seal it, so if you hear the wind, that's what that is. Kind of goes with the whole farm theme, I suppose. Well, here I took a tree die that I had from my stash, and I cut it out using the both colored cardstocks that came in the kit. And then I'm taking white cardstock and cutting out this lovely, adorable fence. It's my favorite. So cute. Now I'm using a different paper pad for these 5 cards. I am using, it's from American Crafts, and it's called Heartland Farm, and I think it goes perfect with the stamp set. So the first paper I cut out has a whole bunch of little barns on it, along with some picket fences. So I'm going to adhere that straight to my card base here. Lovely. Then I'm going to grab some double-sided tape, and this kit came with some burlap, and so I think burlap adds so much dimension to cards. I love using it, so I'm going to cut out a little strip here. I'm going to just adhere that directly to my card front here. Now we're going to work on our front panel. I'm going to adhere my little white picket fence to this pattern paper. This pattern paper has little itty bitty trees on it, and that's where I got the idea to put a little tree on this little panel. I'm using some Tombow Mono multi-glue, and I always put it in these smaller bottles. They're just easier for me to handle. More of a precision tip. And I think the tree needed just a little bit more, so I'm taking my white gel pen and faux stitching around the edges. And I really love this effect. I think it just makes the tree a lot cuter. Lovely. I'm going to pop this up with some foam tape. I'm going to stick that to the card here. Well, I'm going to stick it a little bit lower. Perfect. Better. Now I'm going to pop my sentiment up with some foam tape as well. And then I have the little bunny holding the carrot, and then I have the little squirrel holding a little acorn. But I thought it would be adorable to flip-flop them. So I wanted the bunny to hold the acorn. So I'm cutting off the carrot there. And then we're going to stick him down. And then I'm cutting the acorn off of the squirrel. So I want the little bunny to hold the acorn and the squirrel to hold the carrot. Kind of goes with the little sentiment there. Friends forever, friends share, and I thought that was just so cute. I'm going to pop this panel up with some foam tape. Lovely. And I'm looking at my tree, and my tree just doesn't seem to, I don't know, it doesn't flow right for me. So the trunk, the cardstock that I used for the trunk of the tree, I'm going to cut a little bit of a wider trunk base and make that tree trunk a little bit longer. So I'm going to add some foam tape to the back here and see if that'll fix it here. Well, it looks good. I think I need to double it up though, so I'm going to double up that foam tape. I'm going to trim it just around there. Okay, I'm much happier with this. And we're almost done. I'm grabbing some Nouveau Crystal drops, and these are Midnight Sky, and just to make the eyes pop a little bit, I added them to the squirrel's eye and the carrot's eyes, or the carrots. Oh yeah, the bunny rabbit's eyes. Okay, let's move on to card number 7. I'm stamping my little watering pails here. I only need one. I messed up on the first one. And my flower pot. And then I'm taking the little itty bitty flower stamp, and I'm stamping it 3 times. And I'm going to color it in. And I colored them all in, and I cut them out already. And now I'm taking a piece of this pattern paper, and this is a real pale yellow gingham pattern paper, and I thought it goes really good with the little blue pail. Now I'm taking a 1-inch circle punch, and I want a little bit of a scalloped edge, and this is a fast and easy way to make a scalloped edge on any card. So I'm just adhering the little circles to the edge of my little fishtail banner here. I'm going to trim it to make it fit a little bit better. Lovely. And then I'm going to adjust those circles to where they fit just a little bit better. Now the kit came with this like raffia twine, and so it always coordinates with whatever they send you. So I'm going to use it, and I think it looks so cute. So I'm just going to tie it in a little bow here on the side. Love this. I'm going to trim off the ends here. Perfect. Now I'm taking another piece of pattern paper, and this is like a blue, kind of like a bandana kind of a pattern. So I'm going to adhere that to my card front. Lovely. Now I'm going to pop my little fishtail banner, and I'm going to stick that up on some foam tape. And I was going to stamp my sentiment on that yellow pattern paper, but it skipped my mind, so I thought I'll improvise. So I grabbed a piece of white cardstock. I'm going to trim it down, and I think that'll look just fine. I'm going to fishtail the end of that, and I'm going to stamp our sentiment here. Now, the sentiment in the stamp sets, there was only like 4 sentiments, and I didn't want to make the 10 cards using all the same sentiments, so I grabbed the sentiment from my stash. And then this one says, "Do what you love." And so I'm going to use the intense black ink and just stamp it. Lovely. I'm going to trim it down to where it fits a little bit better. I'm going to adhere that to that yellow pattern paper. And now we're going to arrange our little scene. I'm popping everything up with some foam tape. Lovely. And for the little itty bitty flowers, I'm going to use some foam circles. Makes it a lot easier since they're so dainty. Lovely. Good deal. And then I also have some Nouveau crystal drops, and these are a silver lining. It's like a cloudy gray. It's really pretty, and I thought since I used the white fishtail paper for my sentiment, that it would work out better. So that was card 7. Now for card 8, we need some apples. So I'm stamping 7 apples, but I only need 6. I always stamp 1 extra just in case I mess up. And then we're stamping a basket. And again, we're using the alcohol markers to color him in. So I'm going to color him in, do a little bit of shading, and then I'm going to cut him out using the dies that came with the kit. And then I have a scalloped border punch here, or, well, the die. I cut 2 scallops out. And then for my stash, I have a leaf pattern die, and I cut that out as well. Need a little greenery with the apples. And then I took 2 pieces of the pattern paper, and we have one that's diagonal lines, and then the other one is a itty bitty white and green flower paper, which is so cute. I cut those out, and now I'm going to add the first of my white scallops. Lovely. Now on the second scalloped edge, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, and again it's for my stash, and I'm using the Memento Rich Cocoa ink. And this sentiment says, "Thinking of you." I'm going to pop that up with some foam tape. Boy, that wind is strong back there. I hope you guys can't hear it. Oh my goodness. Okay, now we're going to work on our little basket. I used my craft knife and cut some slits in there so we could stuff it with some apples. Lovely. We need, I think, double up on that foam tape because it didn't lay flush. I'm going to add our basket. And then for the other apples, I'm using some circle foam dots here. And I'm just directly adhering my little greenery to that top left or top right corner, because apples need some leaves. We're going to put that in the bottom there. Lovely. Now I think it needed a little bit more, so I'm kind of framing it in with this tan pieces, well, this tan pattern, well, not really pattern paper, but it's tan cardstock. It's a little bit lighter than craft, but I think it needed something to make it stand out a little bit more, and so this helps. Now I'm sticking my panel directly on my card, and that's it. Now for card number 9, I'm stamping some carrots. It's adorable. And guess what bunny I'm going to be stamping? Yes, I'm going to be stamping the bunny with the carrot because I love him. He's adorable. So cute. And I'm going to be coloring him in. And I'm going to cut out those carrots and cut him out. And then I'm using, this is a word bubble that came with a coordinating die. And so I'm going to use my Versamark ink, and I'm going to use some white embossing powder. We're going to go over that. This sentiment says awesome. Clean up my mess here. And then I'm going to heat set that. It's on a orange polka dot paper. Lovely. I'm going to use the coordinating die and cut that out. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to be using my favorite fence die. I'm going to cut that out. And then the pattern paper that I'm going to be using, I thought it was so cute. It has tomatoes and carrots on it, and I thought it'd be perfect for the background. And to make it stand out, I'm using that chocolate brown textured cardstock that came with the kit. I'm going to cut that out and frame it in there. Now, since I have a little bit of that burlap left, I'm going to use some double-sided tape, and I'm going to adhere that to some white cardstock. I'm going to be using foam tape to lift it up, so I needed a little bit of stability for the back of it, and so the cardstock will help. I'm just using some double-sided tape. This is like super strong tape, which is nice. I peel that off and stick my little burlap on there. Then I'm going to give it a little bit of a haircut. I'm going to add my pattern paper to my brown cardstock here. And then I'm going to pop up this burlap piece with some foam tape. Put that in the center. And now we'll work on our little scene. I'm going to add our little fence. And I'm going to add some foam adhesive to that too, just so it stands out a little bit more. Then I'm going to add my bunny directly to the fence. And then I'm going to layer the carrots kind of on the bottom of the fence there. And then using some foam adhesive, I'm going to add it to the last carrot. And then also to the sentiment. Nah, maybe, yeah, I think that's a better spot for it. Good deal. Now I'm taking some glossy accents. I want those carrots to really stand out. So I'm just adding some glossy accents to the carrot bases. Love this card. I'm going to adhere that brown cardstock to our card base, and that's card number 9. Now for card number 10, the only stamp that I didn't use in this kit was the ducky. So I'm going to make some I'm using some light blue vellum, and I'm cutting out 2 panels to make like a little water scene. And you can see the straight edge underneath one of the panels, so I'm just trimming it off to where it looks a little more wavy. And then I'm going to take some pattern paper, and this is adorable pattern paper. It has little sunflowers all over it, and I'm going to make a frame. So I'm taking my rectangle dies and just layering them together. I'm going to run that through. Lovely. Now I have my frame. And then I'm taking some white vellum, and I'm using the larger of the rectangle dies, and I'm running that through. And then, let's see, this is the cutest little pattern paper, and I thought it went perfectly. It's a light blue background, and then it has wording on it that says moo and oink and quack quack and cluck cluck, and I thought that would be perfect little background. And now I'm taking, again, a sentiment for my stash, and this is a block stamp. So now that I have my block stamp, I definitely need my Stampin' Majig with these things, because of course I always get them crooked. So I'm lining it up, and I'm going to use some rich cocoa ink from Memento to stamp my sentiment. This is a pretty sentiment that says, "Life is a balance of holding on and letting go." I thought that would be a cute little card. And earlier I had cut out some cloud dies, and I was going to use them on another card, and I thought it'd go perfect with this one. So I have those there. And now I'm stamping my ducky, and then the baby ducks that went with it. Now I stamped 4, but of course, well, actually I stamped 5, but I'm only using 3. So I'm going to color those in. And then I'm going to use the matching dies, and I'm going to cut those out. They're so cute. I think they need a little bit more shading, so I'm just doing some last minute shading and details. Adding some orange to the feet and the little beaks. So cute. When you think duckies, I always think, baby cards. So I thought the sentiment really went well with this. I'm taking the coordinating dies and cutting them out. And now we're going to build our little scene. I'm taking that frame and adding some foam tape, or my tape runner here. And then on the bottom, I'm adding the blue vellum. And then I thought I could make one more layer of like waves, but I ended up not doing that. So I just took the white piece of vellum and added that to the back. And now on that blue pattern paper behind there, I'm adding the clouds. And then we're going to pop that up with some foam tape. and stick it directly on that pattern paper. At this point, if you wanted to make it a shaker card, I think it'd be really nice, but I just decided I liked the look the way it was. So now I'm adding my little itty bitty duckies here to my scene, and then I'm going to stick that on my card base. All the card bases are just standard white cardstock, standard A2 size cards. And I'm going to fishtail the end of my sentiment, and I have to move that little chickie up because he was just in the way. And I'm going to trim off the left side there, and then I'm going to pop it up with some foam tape and add that directly to the bottom. And that's it. That's card number 10. So cute. I loved the My Monthly Hero, the March 2017 kit. Only I guess because I'm partial. I live on I guess you could call it a farm. Not really a farm, but I live out in the country, and so this was just a perfect theme for me. Here's a quick look at the 10 cards that I made using the kit. Thank you all for joining me, and stay tuned for my next video. If you like it, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to give you a quick look at each of the cards that we made. And I hope the wind in the background didn't bother you too much. But I had fun using this kit. I hope this gave you some inspiration, give you some ideas on creating. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye-bye.